always good when you're flying an unconventional aircraft like we are to shoot things over early and let them have a look at it. We are going to try to get ourselves up to right now 12,000. Looks like right now that's a decent altitude. Might be a little bit of a push for this plane. Actually, no, I take that back. We were thinking 12,000, but we're actually going to go 8,000. So we're going to file that. We'll let, like I say, let air traffic kind of have a look at that. And we do have all the way down to clearance delivery today, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, we'll see how it progresses. But in the meantime, let's go ahead. We're going to work through the startup procedure here and get everything going. All the switches are off. Everything looks good there. Battery master can come on. Nav and beacon lights are on. Ignition master comes on. I better make sure we have, yeah, everything down here. Our mixture should be idle cutoff. The throttle should be cracked, kind of right in that range-ish. Prop levers full forward. Area is clear, as far as I can see. That side looks good. That side looks good. Turn the generators on. We need a fuel pump on. We'll start number 2 first. Engage the starter. Count all the rotations. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That looks good. Turn the mags on. We'll bring the mixture lever up to auto rich and hit the primer. Hold it down. And oh no, nothing. What did I do wrong here? That's not a good start, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I went to auto. I'm trying not to use the onboard checklist here. I'm trying to use my paper and pencil one here. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. And I must be missing a step. Let's run through that flow here one more time. So we've got the generators on. Fuel pump for number 2 is on. We will engage the starter. The mags are on. We're going to advance the mixture. We're going to hit the primer. Yeah, we're just being a little cranky today, guys. Alright, well, let's do this then. Let's pull up the traditional checklist here and let's go through. Let's just make sure I haven't missed anything here. Well, I already missed something. Parking brake's not set. That probably did it. Nope, there's the parking brake. That's the tail wheel lock. Doors are closed. Battery is on. Ground power not simulated. Gens are on. Beacon is on. Nav lights are on. Cabin signs, even though that doesn't really have anything to do with starting the engine, those can come on. Alright, ignition master is on. Let's go ahead and just turn those guys. We'll turn them both on. I don't know that and we'll turn them off. Fuel quantity, I did check the fuel before we hopped in. That looks good. That's full. Right auxiliary, left auxiliary. Yep, we're full. We've full tanks of gas here. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I don't know that I have. I need to set the fuel. I need to select the fuel to left main, haha, and right main. Yeah, it doesn't, the engines don't run if you don't have fuel going to them. I can open the cowls as well. And everything else. Okay, let's get these mixtures down. Idle cutoff. Throttle is cracked. Prop free. Our full forward flight controls we have checked already. We'll check them again just real quick. Full left, full right, center, full back, full forward, center, rudder right, rudder left, center. Okay, those look good. All right, let's try that flow again here. Fuel pump, as you can hear, is still on. Starter, we will engage. We're counting those blades. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sweet. Let's flip the mag. Right mag can come on. Mixture to auto rich. And now the primer, and let's see if we have any different results. Hey, amazing. All you have to do is introduce a little fuel, and unbelievable what a difference that makes. Well, kind of like with the 737, I had some difficulty really working through the paper checklist after doing the one that was on the screen for so long, but that's okay. We'll keep practicing and we'll be okay. So, all right, fuel pump. Left fuel pump's coming on. Left starter coming on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We will turn on the mags. Mixture to auto rich and primer. And I hear it firing up. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That works a lot better. Okay, so we have, by the way, information. I did pull this up as we were getting set up. Information Delta. We are departing. Simultaneous departures in use. 18 left, 18 center. Just taking a quick look here at where we're at. At the cargo area. So looking like probably not 100% sure, but it looks like it would be the shortest taxi up here to 18 center, and then again we're gonna depart to the south. We're gonna hopefully get some vectors to come around to the north and head up toward Cincinnati. And the reason why we're not in a huge hurry, and we are, but we aren't. But the main obstacle right now is this system right here. And so for us to get where we want to go, actually this is a little bit off right now. I was hoping we would be able to be cleared. Not letting me grab this. Kind of up into to this area here, but I see now that is not going to be practical. So we actually are going to need to rethink this departure just a little bit and try to find something that lets us depart towards Spartanville, and we're gonna have to refile. That's just not going to be doable for us. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to change this around just a little bit, and I'm just going to put in Spartanville as my first waypoint. I'm going to refile that with ATC, and I'm going to look here and just out of curiosity, let's just see what we could potentially get as a departure. We'll let those engines warm up just a little bit here. We can't go too crazy because they will overheat. Now, I think if we did the Charlotte 2 departure, we could get vectors out here to Hooray, and then potentially out to Spartanburg, maybe Spartanburg up to Sugarloaf. That might be not a bad way to go. So that would change us a little bit here. Let's do this. We're gonna go Hooray. Actually, let's see what it does if I put in the actual code here. So Charlotte CLT2. Type this in. We're not going to go Flynn though. CLT2. Hooray, and then SPA. Let's see what it does there. Changes us around a little bit, and then we might be able just to go direct. Might not even have to go, because Spartanville or Sugarloaf is actually quite a ways. Doesn't look like it on this chart, but it's actually quite a ways further west than we need to go if we can help it. Yeah, there's, well, not a ton, I guess, but we actually, I think we would grab this Victor 605 and doesn't contain, oh, you're right, it doesn't contain the point Hooray. So we'd have to get down here and pick up, what did we say that was? SPA, Spartanburg. So it'd be after Spartanburg. Yeah, that's the problem. We're going to go from Spartanburg, and we want to go Victor 605. There we go. Sorry guys, just have a little bit of a text message coming in here. Okay, so let's make that. Boy, ATC is they're going to be loving me here. Victor 605. I'm going to put in Charlotte 2. With the Hooray transition. Harry. It might be Harry, actually. I don't know. I don't fly down here very often. And after changing my route 3 times, I may be asked not to fly down here anymore. So, well, okay, so we do have that adjusted, and we will be requesting that here shortly. Okay, engines are probably plenty warm here. Fuel pressure is up super high right now. Actually, everything looks okay. Temps are doing all right. That's one thing early in this particular version of the DC3 I've noticed that is not really simulated per se. Okay, I think let's see. We need to now. It's a matter of flight planning, and so the first waypoint, if we're cleared on this route, is going to be actually an outbound radial from Charlotte. So we should put in 115 excuse me, 115.00, and we're going to be heading out here on what will that track be? I'll have to look at the departure and see what the departure says. Alright, 270 heading out to Hooray, Harry, whichever one they want to, whatever it's called. Let's go ahead and put that in. So 115.00. Flight time today, about 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. Delivery is on 127.15. let's go over and explain to ourselves what we're thinking. First, we have to turn the radio and the inverters on. Alright, there we go. Charlotte Delivery, good afternoon. Delta 6553 with information Delta. We would like to request our IFR clearance up to Cincinnati. Cross your fingers, guys.
Last aircraft calling Charlotte approach. If you're on the ground at Charlotte, you're looking for IFR clearance, that would be with Charlotte Delivery, unless you're located somewhere else.
Oh, man. Oh, my apologies. I have 2615 instead of 2715 tuned in. My apologies.
No problem.
All right, let's try that again.
You are cleared to the Cincinnati Airport. Nice to departure Flynn, Cuban, then JP4. Maintain 4,000, expect level 30010 minutes after departure. Frequency 120.5, squawk 6366.
17 Mike Alpha cleared to Cincinnati, Nights 2, Flynn, Cuban, JQ4 arrival. Climb maintain 4,000, expect flight level 30010 minutes after departure. Departure 120.5, squawk 6366.
171 Mike Alpha, back correct, contact ground 121.8.
Ground point 8, 17 Mike Alpha.
Charlotte Delivery, good evening. Delta 6553 with information Delta requesting IFR clearance to Cincinnati.
Delta 6553, standby.
There we go. He's like, which one did you want here? You filed 3 different ones. And why?
Delta 6553, I have your flight plan arriving into Charlotte. I don't have a flight plan departing Charlotte.
What? No, my apologies. I have that backwards. Let me fix that and I'll refile it just really quickly here. Yes, indeed. KCLT,
No problem, sir.
CVG.
Contact me when you're ready.
And we need, I'm trying to remember what we had as our alternate. I think we had, what did we have? Springfield? No. What did we have as our alternates? Dayton, KDAY, alright. And departure time here we're going to just estimate we'll be in the air in the next 15 minutes. And file that. I can't believe I missed those. And Delta 6553, I think we've got it straightened out now. Can't believe I missed the departure and arrival airports. That's semi-important to get correct.
53, Roger. Standby.
Let's take one last look and see what the heck you're trying to do here. And now that I look at the map here, the weather's kind of spun around and it might be smarter to just try to sneak out here to the north. Well, we'll just see what he kind of suggests.
6553, I do need to fix your flight plan. The Charlotte 2 departures for turbojet aircraft.
Oh, shoot.
Standby 1, I'll give you a slightly different routing.
Okay, yeah, we were just trying to get a departure that would vector us around this weather. We're in a DC-3 and going to be trying to dodge that all day long. So whatever you think, we're ready.
All right. Or if you want to take a look yourself, pick the Night 2 departure. That's for propeller aircraft. And you can do the rest of the route as you wish.
Okay, let me take a quick look at that, and I'll contact you here in just a second. 6553. All right, so he does like the night 2, which is what we had. At one point, that's kind of what we were leaning towards when we were trying to go north. Let's see if we do have something though that would
Charlotte delivery, American 561.
take us out.
American 561, good afternoon. We're clear to the land port 5, the Icons 3, departure nukes transition is found. Maintain 8,000.
Looks like we could get maybe
36010 minutes after departure. Frequency is 120.5. The transponder code 6362.
And again, I don't.
Clear Icon 3 Nux, transition is filed up to 8, expect 360 after 10120.5, 6 tree.
I still think it's going to be, as I'm looking at the weather, I still think a pretty good build up right there. Not like it's super pretty heading out this way either, but I still think if we can get out to the west, I think that's going to be good. So I think maybe what we're going to try to do is work.
Charlotte delivery, Vision Jet 713 Delta Mike IFR is filed.
We're going to go, what is night? KNI, I think. KNI 2. Let's see if we can work this guy here. KNI2. Let's see what Bobsy. I'm seeing Bobsy out there. We can track to Bobsy, and then maybe from Bobsy we can find something that takes us.
You are clear to the Cincinnati Airport via the Georgia 4 departure, Cuban transition that is found. Maintain 8,000, expect level 28010 minutes after departure.
I'm just not seeing if we could just be cleared direct Spartanville. That actually is going to be the easiest. So I think what we're going to try to do here.
8,000 minutes, 280 after 10, 20.5.
We'll have Debbie.
324 in the box, 3 Delta Mike.
I'm seeing Sugarloaf.
Echo curve the ATIS and contact ground 121.9 when ready to taxi.
Man, this is getting a little tricky here. So there's Debbie, and then that is apparently, what is that? Is that Bobsy? What is that? Or is that just part of the? Yeah, that's Bobsy. So why do I have Debbie in there? I don't want Debbie in there. I want Bobsy. I don't know why it was giving me Debbie. Maybe that's just part of the departure. Do you have to go down there? Do you have to go to Debbie first, I guess? Maybe you do. Yep, KNI2. So there's, well, maybe what we need to do is a Nino. Let's see what that looks like. What happens if I put Nino in there? Alright, that moves it up a little bit better. And then we can work off of Spartanburg here to get down. Okay, Nino there, and then do we have a... And then we would just end up going to Sugarloaf. Okay, and then we can track up to what is that again? Holston Mountain. All right, well let's see if he likes that any better. Again, that gets us to the west, which is the most important thing here. And delivery, Delta 6553. I think we found ourselves a little bit more appropriate westerly departure there for you to take a look at, and we're ready to copy clearance when you are.
Delta 6553, that one looks good. You are clear to the Cincinnati Airport by the night 2 departure, Nino transition that is found. Maintain 4,000, expect 8,000, 10 minutes after departure. Contact departure at 120.5, squawk 6372.
Alright, cleared up to Cincinnati, the night 2 departure, Nino transition then as filed. We will maintain 4,000, expect 8,000, Departure frequency 120.5, squawk 6372, Delta 6553.
That's 6553, read back is correct. Information echoes current on the Aegis. Contact ground 121.8 when ready to taxi.
We'll go get information echo and ground point 8 for 6553 for taxi. Thanks. Alright, well, so that changes things again just a little bit. We still are going to use the Charlotte 115.0 outbound as our initial frequency, but it changes. Now we got a 275 heading out to Bobsey, and then we will go 250.
American 1722 Charlotte delivery. Good afternoon.
We're going to use this Foothills VOR to track that last little chunk there. It's only a let's see, what is yeah, I think we'll be able to do that just fine. Okay, well, welcome to flight planning on the Melvin Leroy channel. We're not going to worry about flying. No, I'm just kidding. So we need 275 is going to be our heading. That gets us heading west like we need to. Let's go ahead and put in 29905. We need to have that altimeter ready to go. 29905.
American 1228 happy.
There we go. We do need a little bit of autopilot. Really looking forward to, by the way, we'll talk about the AeroWorks DC-3 that's on the horizon. One of the things I'm really hopeful for is that they have all of this stuff is operable, and we can we can actually don't have to worry about these 2D pop-up panels, but for now it works good, so we're not going to complain too much. This is really a favorite aircraft, and so, you know, I can't complain. The price is right for sure. 121.8 is our comm frequency. Alright, sweet. We do need to, even though it's not really realistic, we do need to push back just slightly from where we're at, because I don't think we can make that turn. So we'll just kind of imagine that there's some kind of a tail wheel tug, which I mean, I guess there could be. I don't know. I'm definitely no expert in DC-3s, but we're going to tail wheel tug our way back far enough that we don't take out this metal building when we make our turn. Might have to make a left-hand 360, and I think we can actually get that turn done all right. Okay, that's far enough. Let's go ahead and call ground, and let's get our taxi clearance. Charlotte ground, Delta 6553 over at the cargo area. We're looking for our taxi. We have information echo. That was an awkward call. That was recycle that transponder for you. Yeah, I didn't have it turned it on here. I had it on my V pilot. Oh, geez, Louise. And did you say 6313 for Delta 6553? I thought it was 6372. All right, 6313, and my apologies for not having that ready. 6553.
6553, no worries. Runway 1, center.
Yep, 18 center is hopefully what we're going to get. Uniform Echo, that would be easy. Uniform Echo, cross runway 5.
Alright, so 6553, runway 1 center, taxi via Uniform Echo, cross runway 5, Echo.
Uniform Echo, cross runway 5 at Echo, Delta 6553. Sweet. Alright. Okay, so before taxi, inverters, avionics, all are on, mags are on, fuel pumps are off, tail wheel is unlocked, flaps are up, mixture is auto rich, and chocks are off. Very good, very good. Brake is off. Give it a little bit of juice. A little bit of differential braking. Uniform should be right over there. That's that taxiway. It's default City USA on today's stream. As you can tell, we have default Charlotte and default Cincinnati. I was tempted. There was, I think FS Dream Team has Charlotte available, and then I did see that there was another add-on maker that just had released, Cincinnati, and I thought a little bit about it, but I'm actually saving my pennies because the aforementioned Aeroplane Heaven DC-3 is nearing completion. And I'll be honest with you, the screenshots that they're sharing, the little teasers that they're sending out, they're working. Because I am interested. I'm very, very interested. I have really enjoyed flying this plane, and I love this. This is the Manfred Jan and Jan Visser freeware DC-3/C-47, and I've loved it. It's been awesome. But there are some things that did I just blow by Echo? I think I did. Are some things that would be nice, and one of them is the autopilot. I would love, we're going to take the grass here, hope that's okay. I would love for the autopilot to be fully functioning, or at least a little more fully functioning than it is right now. You can see there's some in-op things, and there's some, there's some buttons and switches there that are not working per se. I'm curious actually to see what they do with the autopilot, if they keep it authentic like what you see here, or if they include a little bit more of a modern version. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm excited, and it's one that I am planning on picking up. Hopefully it's not going to be hundreds of dollars, but so I'm not buying extra scenery, especially since I really don't fly down in this area that much. If I had a virtual airline or something where I was flying down here, that might be a different story. But I just don't get down here very much. When I do, I'm usually kind of in the Atlanta area, Jacksonville area. So for now, we're holding off. There's that big decision you have to make. Do you need it or want it? And man, that's I'm not a very good example of self-control there, but we're taught to not overspend on things that you don't really truly need. And I have some other things also just in real life that I need to also spend my money on. So, I can wait. I can be patient. I've got plenty of things here that very blessed to have what I have, and I appreciate it. All right, didn't realize I was breaking the speed limits, but we'll slow her down. 6553. Over to tower, Delta 6553. We'll see it. Man, 25. Was I really going that fast? Interesting. Alright, 1810. Over to tower. Never a dull moment here on the channel. 11810. I just switched off. That's my nav frequency, dude. I need that at 15.0. This is 118.10. Yikes. Okay.
20.5, 3 Delta Mike today.
Charlotte Tower, Delta 6553. We're holding short 18 center on Echo, ready for departure.
The 6553, hold short 18 center, traffic 3 mile time.
Hold short 18 center, Delta 6553.
November 4461 Lima, you.
Whoa, that was weird.
61 Lima, we are 2 mile final, 18 center.
I just bumped my throttle quadrant, and yeah, it temporarily shut off my engines there. That was not good. Luckily, they fired right back up as far as I could tell. We're gonna peek out, just make sure. Yep, they're both going. All right. Let's get up to the hold short line here. And we'll wait for traffic to come in. In the meantime, just double check our before takeoff. So mixture, yeah, that bumped down to auto cutoff actually. So it needs to be auto rich. Bump the trim to 0.2. Cow flaps will put on trail. We will put the landing lights on. And hey, there is landing traffic. Awesome. We'll lock the tail wheel once we get on. We have set flaps 1/4. Line up and wait, 18 center, Delta 6553. Okay, expecting a right turn, climb up to 4,000. We're going to be tracking the Charlotte VOR outbound on the 174 radial. We have all that pretty well set up. 275, I should say, is the outbound radial.
November 4461 Lima, contact ground 1.8 today. Alright, good day. 61 Lima.
And
Delta 6553, fly heading 270, runway 18 center, clear for takeoff.
fly heading 270, clear for takeoff 18 center, Delta 6553. Alright, can do. Power's coming up. Tail wheel is locked. Power set. And we are airborne. Ooh, getting pushed a little bit here. Positive rate. Gear's going to come up. maintain that runway heading here until we're clear, and then we'll turn right. Actually, yeah, we'll turn right 270. Flaps coming up. Bring our manifold pressure and RPMs down. Let's take that, make that right-hand turn.
Delta 6553, contact departure 120.5 today.
120.5, Delta 6553, see it. Let's come around to 270 first.
Delta 627, Charlotte Tower, wind 160 at 8, runway 18 center, clear land.
Alright,
Delta 627.
that's pretty close.
Charlotte Tower, American 1186, ready to go, right left.
American 1186, runway 18 left, wing. Runway 18 left, American 1186. American 539, contact around 121.9.
Charlotte departure, good afternoon, Delta 6553, climbing through 2,400, heading 270.
Delta 6553, flight departure, radar contact.
That controller's like, and exactly where are you going again? We've slid to the left of our course already, so we're going to have to make a slight adjustment here if we're going to get back on that 275, but that's okay, we can do it. We're actually kind of sliding a little bit just ourselves with the wind.
6553, climb and maintain 8,000.
Climb and maintain 8,000, 6553. Alright, we can do that. We're going to keep the power and the manifold pressure. Keep that pretty high. We want to get ourselves out of Dodge here as much as we can. We want to get up to 8,000 as quick as we can. It looks like we have, well, I say that, and there's a flash of lightning. Looks like we maybe have a little bit of a gap right here. And Mr. Map is confirming that. I think we can shoot through here before this gets any bigger or moves any more to the north. I don't know if it is tracking north or not, but if we're able, we're going to go ahead. Now we should get some. Thought we were going to get some radar vectors. To Nino, just in case we don't. We're gonna taking a look here. Pulling Knights 2 up and just kind of getting a feel. This is a 30, looks like this is a 33. I'm sliding to the south. Don't do that. This is a 33.6 nautical mile leg. That's to Bobsey. And then from Bobsey, it's another basically 19 DME to Nino. So
American 1186.
alright, I'm looking around too much, so I'm going to go ahead and set that. I'm also going to go ahead and set this.
5 minutes to 16,000, American 1186.
And I like a 500 foot per minute climb rate. I think that'll work just fine. Do have a little bit of a temperature issue here. Cows are open to trail, so we may have to back off just slightly. Cylinder head temperature is a little bit high right now. We'll open those cows all the way, see if we can get it cooled off just a little bit. Alright, after a departure checklist, fuel pumps can come off. Landing lights can come off. And we'll go ahead and keep the pitot heat on, or put the pitot heat on. No de-icing just yet. We're still okay as far as an outside air temp. Positive 21 degrees Celsius, so that's okay. I'm thinking the 270, I'm thinking they actually have skipped the middleman here, and instead of sending me to Bobsey, which was 275, I think they're just directing me straight to Nino on a 270. So we're going to add the 33.6 and the 18.9. So we're basically going to say, you know, about 34 and about 19 to get to Nino. So 34 and 19, what is that, 53? We'll watch until our DME is up here at 53 at that point. So we're actually not going to worry about, sorry for pulling this out and pulling it back in, but we're actually not going to worry about this. We were going to tune in the foothills and track it, but we're not going to worry about it. But we will tune in Sugarloaf and the 147 outbound. And as we get close to that 53, we'll take a peek there, and we'll kind of head to the northwest up to Sugarloaf. But so far, it looks like we're sneaking through. I'll take it. We're not there yet, but we're sneaking through at least the first little line of storms. And then after that, who knows? But at least we're able to get. Here's kind of what we're trying to do. It's a little bit of a game of Frogger almost. So we're just sliding right through between these two cells here on our departure. Then we're hoping we can get north before this becomes an issue. I guess if this becomes an issue, we could always vector over here. Well, we'll vector as needed, essentially. Yeah, we got to stay clear of that. No question. Climbing nicely through 6,400. We haven't taken a look outside at the sights and sounds yet. We better do that. Oh, it's a wet one. Yowza. Glad we're not in that. That's nasty. A little better that way, I would say. Yeah, some bumpity bumps. Not completely unexpected. So I might as well tune that to straight 270. Yeah, so I had on the departure, as you guys had saw, I had a few times where I actually was tracking more like 260, and so that's why I am just a little bit left of course. But no worries, we're close enough for now, and we're going to be, I think, just fine. 17, almost 18 DME away from the airfield now, which is cool. Just about through the worst of the weather, at least the worst of the departure weather, which is also cool. And yeah, ready ready to turn north. So yeah, so yesterday, again, I apologize if you are wondering what the heck, didn't I see this stream already? Is this deja vu all over again? So it was one of those afternoons where I actually wasn't planning on doing any simming, and I happened to just kind of have like all of a sudden, you know, the stars aligned and naps were being taken and chores were getting done, and I had this like 2-hour window, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hop down and jump on and go flying somewhere. And so of course the first thing I do is I look for ATC, and I want to know, because I like to have the coverage and the chatter and the traffic and all that good stuff. So I saw both, you know, I saw that there was activity down here in this area, and as well as the Cincinnati area. And as I was just kind of, you know, clicking around, and I had looked at Bat USA earlier on, and they had mentioned that there was this Cincinnati Charlotte Crossfire event going on. I just in my brain thought, well, hey, cool, perfect timing. Here I am. I got some time. It's the same time as when the event's going, and so why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's go fly in that Crossfire event. So I loaded up, found an aircraft. It really wasn't a real route. There is no Delta 737 route. There's really neither that runs from Cincinnati to Charlotte, but I felt like, you know what, they both have Delta hubs, and so or Delta terminals, so I'll just go ahead. I hadn't been in the 737 for a while, so I thought I would just go ahead and spawn up there and fly down. So yeah, I did the entire route yesterday in the 737, had a blast. Had some guys stop in and give me a hard time and help me out and all that good stuff like usual, but didn't realize till this morning that, yeah, that event actually happens today, not yesterday. I was thinking there was a NorCal event that was happening today, but that's actually happening next Friday. So I've made some adjustments to the schedule. You'll notice on the stream, on the channel, that the upcoming events are, they look different, and that's why. Okay, so we're at cruise. We need to go ahead and auto lean the mix. We're going to set our RPMs at about 2,000 and our manifold pressure kind of at 32-ish. So the RPMs, bring the manifold pressure back to about 32. RPMs coming back to, yeah, maybe, you know, 22 and 32, just a couple of good round numbers there. And we don't need the cowls wide open anymore. We can go ahead and close those. Should be able to keep the engines cool with the mixture. If not, you know, we'll keep an eye on things and definitely make adjustments as we need to. And there, I am okay. Now that was not me hitting the throttle quadrant. That was me discovering some hidden click spot up here because I was clicking. Yeah, okay. Are we back? Are we running again? Yep, that's spinning. That's good. Oh boy. Now that's the kind of thing that I'm hoping airplane heaven kind of gets worked out. Little things like that.
6553. Remain present heading for now. Unable to proceed direct Sugarloaf VOR. Contact Atlanta Center 132.62. Have a good day.
Maintain present heading when able, direct Sugarloaf and over to center. Can I get that frequency again for 6553?
Sure, it's 132.62, 3262.
3262, appreciate the ATC, we'll see it. Alright, 32, there's 3 Atlanta centers on right now because of the event. So I just wanted to confirm 3262. And so we've been actually cleared direct Sugarloaf, so let's do that. Let's put in Sugarloaf is 112
Charlotte approach 126.15.
decimal 2. We're going to put that in. We're not going to worry about flying any radial here. When you're cleared direct 2, you just get to go in that direction. So we'll spin this guy around, and we need to head, it looks like about 030. And actually we'll start turning that way, but we'll just engage the nav lock here. And sweet, we'll start counting that down. Atlanta Center, good evening. Delta 6553 at 8,000. We are direct Sugarloaf, about 36 miles to the southeast.
Delta 6, so that's 6553 higher there. Are you sure you don't want to go any higher there, sir?
8,000 will work for now. We're going to adjust based on weather, but right now we have some nice, smooth, clean air for this DC-3. But we may be talking to you on route if we have some weather that builds up ahead of us.
6553, no problem.
Yeah, and here's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. Okay, you might think I'm crazy here, but up to 9,000, we've got wind speeds 2, 2, 3. I could get up to 12,000. That doesn't look too bad. But then when I get above 12,000, look at those wind speeds. They start to pick up. I don't know what the ceiling for this plane is. I don't know how much above 12,000 it is anyway. I don't think it's much more than that, but I'll take this nice clean air. I know we're kind of in IMC conditions right now, but I don't mind this. I don't mind what I have right now weather-wise. Sometimes those controllers too, they see Delta 6553 and they're so used to the more modern airplanes, you know, and they're wondering why would a 737 or a 75 or a 777, why would you only be 8,000? Sometimes they don't realize if they're controlling a lot of planes that this is a little bit of an older girl here, and she likes to go low and slow. Doesn't mind going low and slow, I should say. And we definitely are low and slow. 130 knots, but that's you wouldn't want it any other way, right?
Center, good afternoon. South 321, level 360. Sugar 321, Atlanta Center. Sugar 321, contact Atlanta Center 123.95. 123.95.
All right, well let me show you kind of what it's looking like here real quick. I don't mind. I think we're in good shape here. We're going to close that. Here's what the fantastic map is looking like. You know, for a Sunday, 23 departures, 22 arrivals. That's not too bad. And then into Cincinnati, still have 19 arrivals coming in, so it's a decent number. Atlanta has 13 and 17. They're always busy, and that's That's pretty much the only game in town, honestly. We've got Cleveland Center, we've got Indy Center, we've got Atlanta Center that are online right now. Oh, I guess we do have LA Center, and they may be doing something here, kind of.
Atlanta Center versus 713.
Yeah, I don't know. LA just generally busy as it is.
Present at 713 automatic Atlanta Center, welcome.
So yeah, if you're looking for a place to fly, this would be the place. Oh, and Canada has popped in, Moncton and
11.7 kilometer 14,000.
Gander.
Fun
Fun area to fly. Been there many times. Europe is kind of quieting down right now. It's getting late in the evening over there, Sunday night into Monday morning, so they are they're winding down a little bit. So yeah, you're kind of looking at some either a little West Coast action there in the LA area, or come down here and join the Charlotte-Cincinnati Crossfire party.
Yeah, that's up. Atlanta Center and 73530. November 73530, Atlanta Center, pass your message. 73530 ground in Gainesville, clearance on hard Charlotte. 735, so November 733, sorry, oh my god, November 73530, wrong call, sorry. Contacted line to approach 127.955. Sorry, then I was like, this is to 5.7. Atlanta Center on 127.9, 73530. Number 717 Mike Alpha, contact Indy 119.55. See you later.
19 Mike Alpha.
Southwest 2542, contact us and Southwest approach 126.15, we'll see ya.
2615, see ya, Southwest 25.
Number 7 to Mike, contact ND Center 1190.55, we'll see ya. 1955, 3 Delta Mike, see ya. Delta 1609, proceed direct call. Can we get that point again, Delta 1609? Delta 1609, it's called Kilo Uniform, pop. Alright, direct coupe, Delta 1609.
Good evening, Atlanta Center, Eclipse Jet 420 Hotel Alpha leveling.
Eclipse 420 Hotel Alpha, Atlanta Center, hi there. Proceed direct Jojo, climb maintain flight level 340.
Jojo 3400 Hotel.
Hope you're enjoying that view, man. I tell you what, this is a pretty part of the country. I believe, like I said yesterday, that I think these are the Blue Ridge Mountains. But we're getting, as you can probably tell, getting close to making a turn. So I think we're heading about 301. We'll lock that heading in here. And come on, don't turn too much. Alright, it'll slide a little bit. That's okay. We're going to tune in, make a right turn heading 008 here in just a second. And actually, let me put this back on. We're gonna throw that in right here. And we may have to track the Sugarloaf VOR outbound for a while, but I am going to put in Holston Mountain, which is 14.6. I'll put that down in nav 2. 14.6, turn that guy on. And so it's a... We'll see if we're able to pick it up here at some point. Yeah, we're too far away just yet, but that's okay. We can track. We'll track away from Sugarloaf. We'll let our DME get down a little bit further. Sugarloaf, is that an airport? I don't know if it is. I just think it's a VOR. It's tucked in here somewhere on top of the mountain. It's a good place for a VOR, that's for sure.
Endeavour 5007, contact Earth approach 126.15, we'll see ya.
Does anybody know if they
2615
model those old air mail, those white arrows There's one in, or maybe more than one in the state I live, not far away. I should go try to check it out sometime. Just fly down and see if those arrows are still there.
987 Whiskey Mike, contact line 0 approach 127.9.
Excuse me. Okay, about a mile away, we'll be getting ready to make our turn here just very, very soon. I'm so used to the DC-8 now, where that thing sneaks up and you're kind of making your turn at about 5 or 6 miles away, and this one you can let it go right down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, there we go. Heading is going to be 008. We will slide that over so we make sure that we are tracking that outbound. And this is a fairly long leg here, so 10, 9, 8. Hard to tell. Is that, we at 10 right there? Yep, 9, 8. So we'll go a little ways here. We'll see if that centers up. When this guy down here comes alive, you know, with time to time, we'll just check our DME. And when that guy comes alive, we'll be ready to go. So how long is this leg, by the way? Not too bad. 62 miles, but might be an issue with some of this terrain. Do I need to worry about that terrain, by the way? Man, I maybe do. No, 7,000 looks like, or the highest peaks are 6,600. So I'll be kind of scraping the paint here a little bit, but I mean, I guess I could go up a little higher, but not going to worry about it right at the moment. I have some other things that I do need to check on, namely the weather. So here we are. We just have made our turn north from Sugarloaf. It looks like we have a cell right away that we're going to have to address. This guy here hopefully will move off to the west and not be an issue. You know, this guy might pose some problems, but this bad boy is the one that really has the potential to build up, become a huge issue, because it's like a 80-mile wide storm here. And I don't know. Sometimes storms like this, they get up against the mountains and they just kind of build and build and build and build. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. That's the Sky Vector version. Here is the Active Sky version, and the Active Sky version is telling me that actually doesn't look half bad. So Active Sky is what we see out here, so that's nice. Alright, we're still not quite tracking where we need to track, so I'm going to go ahead and just nudge this guy maybe about 0.15. Winds right now currently are 338 at 4, so they actually should be helping us. They should be pushing us more back on. They're coming off of our left nose. They should be pushing us on course here. So we'll just, like I say, make a slight adjustment here and just give it a little bit of time, see if it starts to center up. Man, I tell you what, this is just, I love this area. I should get down here, and I think I said that last time when I was flying the airport guy's scenery. I'm like, why don't I fly down here more?
28 heavy with you, 11.8 climbing 16,000 direct to JoJo.
Taking like 9 screenshots.
1220 Atlanta Center high, climb maintain flight level 230. Climb maintain 230, American 1228 heavy.
Just stunning.
209 December, John D2 arrival, Charlotte Altimeter 29098. Sorry, no, it's not 29095. Alright, well, December, the arrival, number 609. Hotel Papa 1 for my Golf, descend, sorry, descend and maintain 5,000. Descend and maintain 5,000, Hotel Papa 1 for my Golf. America, I'm sorry. American 1228, contact Atlanta Center 132.97, bye-bye. 132.97, American 1228, heavy ship.
So you probably saw what I just did there. I noticed that we were tracking our incoming VOR, even though we were getting a little bit more centered up on that outbound. But we are able to now tune in the Holston Mountain 114.6 VOR. And so we went ahead and just made our adjustment there. Now we do need to do this because we should be on the 008. So we're going to move that guy back over. We're going to let the autopilot, slide us to the right just a little bit and get ourselves on that 008 outbound radial from Sugarloaf. We've got about 44 miles to go, and it's a shame we've kind of run into some IMC because we're missing out on some beautiful mountain scenery. Alright, we'll leave it out there for a little bit.
Hotel Papa 1 for my golf, maintain 3000.
I have terrain in front of me. Is that a safe altitude?
Okay, that's all. 1 for Mike. Maintain 5000, and that's not a mistake, sir. Maintain 5000, Hotel Papa 1 for my golf. Hotel Papa 1 for my golf, turn right at 050.
Turn right heading 050 there and Hotel Papa 1 for my golf.
Hotel Papa 1 for my golf, make up right 090, report to me 17 and sir. Hotel Papa 1 for 7090, Hotel Papa my golf to right 7090, report for me 17 and right, so 17 and sir.
Turn right 090, can you please say again?
Report the field inside, runway 17.
Yeah, we'll report the field inside. Hotel Papa 1 for my golf.
Okay.
Atlanta Center, Learjet, November 613 Echo Charlie, on the ground at Greensboro as far as Cincinnati. We have Bravo.
I'll call you back to 1609, contact Charlotte approach 126.15, see ya.
Delta 1609, see ya.
Sir, good evening. Southwest 321 with you, climbing to 12,200 for 16, we've been given direct kilns.
Southwest 4821, climb maintain 5level 230.
Level 230, Southwest 21.
Hotel Papa 1 for my golf, do you have a field inside?
I have a field inside, Hotel Papa 1 for my golf.
Hotel Papa 1 for my golf, runway 17, low visual approach.
Okay, visual approach from runway 17, Papa 1 for Nevada Center, Legacy Dragon 1, good evening, 16,000, direct Millie.
Dragon 1 Atlanta Center, welcome. November 631 Echo Charlie, close destination, Barrella Vectors Bravo, Kilo Whiskey, then failed, maintain 1010,000. Final 320 10 minutes after, frequency on me, stroke 2076.
Echo Charlie's cleared and filed. We'll maintain 10,000 partial view with you. Can you repeat the squawk, please?
Squawk 2076, 2076.
2076 for 600 Echo Charlie.
Number 600 Echo Charlie, be that correct? Taxi on discretion runway 5, last call, hold and show.
And can we take 5 right for 613 Echo Charlie? We don't have 5 left on our scene right now.
Yeah, no problem. Right, on discretion, call home, show.
We'll go with 3 Echo Charlie.
Center Apex 2281 Heavy checking on level 50240. Nine. 3789 line to center high there, descended to flips, free arrival, shot at 729.
Okay. Excuse me. We are closing in on our next waypoint, and it's time for us to start to look at the approach. Once we get past the Holston Mountain, that's actually the entrance into the approach that we're planning, which is the Hardu 4. So let's have a look here at the Hardu 4. Yeah, so we're coming in there from the Holston Mountain VOR. We'll be tracking 311 to Cheetah, then turning north. We'll have to work off the Volunteer VOR up here to the Teos intersection, and then we will again turn to the northwest. We'll track the Falmouth VOR, and at that point in time we're going to have to start thinking just a little bit about altitude here. We will, I'm sure, be getting our altitude restrictions from ATC, but it's just not a bad idea to have that in mind as we go.
Advisory 122.8, Southwest 21, thanks.
As I say that, I'm not really seeing anything that impacts us per se. That's just kind of an overview here. So 311 will be our next course heading. We can go ahead and set that.
Southwest 5 on frequency.
We will be picking up Indy Center here pretty soon as well. We're kind of closing in on that border. It's taking us a little while, but we'll get there. Indy border is, I won't say it's quite the halfway point, but it's at least the 1/3 waypoint into our flight. But it doesn't look like we're going to have to worry, I guess, to make a long story short, we're not going to have to worry too much about altitude restrictions or anything like that for quite some time. So I'm going to
November 73530, climbing,
just kind of go ahead and monitor that. Really wanting to hop back outside and look around because it's just, like I say, such a beautiful part of the country, but we need to keep our eyes on this guy right here for now.
Atlanta Center, Oiler 4 Heavy 5.
I will put the Volunteer VOR 116.4.
14,000
and we will be
next time you don't connect halfway through, it makes my life really hard. You're in Charlotte, based on Charlotte 26.15.
that'll be a 011 outbound heading for Volunteer. So what I'm doing here, just for those of you not seeing what I'm seeing, so once we get to Holston Mountain, we're going to be turning and we're going to be flying this 311 outbound radial for looks like 90 miles. And then Cheetah, we know we're at the Cheetah intersection. Well, first of all, we'll know because it'll be 90 DME, but we hopefully also will be able to track this outbound radial from Volunteer. This is 011, and when we know that, when that guy lines up in nav 2, we'll know we're on the right track, and we'll go 19 more miles up to Teos, and then we will switch over to Falmouth and rock and roll. So that's that. That's the plan anyway.
230, Westwood 20. Atlanta Center, number 6 Mustang Charlie Mike is with you, descending through flight level 290 for 240.
Number 616 Charlie Mike, Atlanta Center, high. Descending flight discretion, maintain 1010,000.
Power discretion down at 1010,006 Charlie Mike.
Center 3 Echo Charlie, looking across runway 32 at Kilo, then we'll be ready to go for February. Number 613 Echo Charlie, crossway 30. Cross 32, 3 Echo Charlie.
Has become a bit more turbulent here as we're approaching Holston Mountain, so I don't really, as I'm looking at my weather map, I'm not really seeing anything. My conditions are still saying I should have pretty favorable, only 4-knot winds right now, so I don't know if it's just the usual turbulence you get when you're going over the hills like this or not, but what I am seeing, this is the part that we're trying to avoid here. So I do see a few, must be some PIREPs here of heavy turbulence, and but that's clear up at 14,000. So yeah, you can really see the winds picking up here the higher you get. So I don't think it's terrible that we're staying down low and slow today. Really don't. 5 DME, it's been a while. Let's do a quick check of pressures and temps. Those are all looking fantastic. And now we are at the point where we might need to think about if we run into some precip. We're down there at 0, so we might need to. Oh no, that's carb air. What am I thinking? Where's my? No, I can't remember where my outside air temp gauge is. Yeah, forget I just said that. Fuel looks good. Left main and right main both are the same. Awesome. Alright, that's going to bother me. Where is my outside air temperature? Now, well, in the meantime, we've... No, not yet. Sorry. Stay on the nav. Oh, for Pete's sake. I mean, I could see it here on my 2D pop-out panel that we're 17. So that's good. But for the life of me, I can't remember where the heck.
West wind 279, contact at 132.975.
Alright, that's just going to bother me for a while until I figure it out, I guess, but yeah, until then, we won't worry about it. Because we're just about to that spot where we need to make our way to the 311 outbound radio. But there's some fishing going on down there.
And November 3 Echo Charlie short of radio.
Alright, we're going to pop that in. We're less than a mile from our VOR, so we'll start making that turn since it's a decent turn here. Yep, that wasn't bad timing. Spin this around also to 311. The goal is to obviously get that centered up as best we can. And it doesn't look like we're too far off. We maybe turned just a little bit late, but let's fly that a ways and let's see if that doesn't. Sometimes when you get a little further away from the VOR, that centers up. Yeah, that's continuing to come and line up nicely actually. So we're just going to go ahead and roll with that. Once again, we are expecting, this is a 60 DME leg, so we'll keep a close eye on that. We do have the volunteer VOR tuned in, and we'll be looking at that needle also. When that needle comes around, we'll know that we're at that intersection as well. It'll kind of be a double check for us. Yeah, we're actually just a hair left of the VOR, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust it. 313. Need this, Jaden? And I think we'll hop back outside while we have the opportunity.
Center, good afternoon. Piedmont 5259 with you. 12,000 climbing 16,000.
Piedmont 5259, line to center highlight, I maintain flight level 230.
Up 230, Piedmont 5259.
Center November 3 Echo Charlie is off the ground. Altitude indicates 2,500. Number 6 on 3 Echo Charlie, line center high there. Radar contact at level 315, climb maintain flight level 230. Climb to 230. Canada 465, contact Atlanta Center 132.975, bye-bye.
22975, Air Canada 465, okay.
Just under 45, we keep through 11,000. That's 95.5, hello, climb, maintain, flight level 190. Okay, 190, Delta 95.5. Apex 2281, contact Charlotte approach 126.15, bye-bye.
Apex 2281, Apex, yeah.
Piedmont 5259, contact Atlanta Center 132.075, bye-bye.
132.975, Piedmont 5259, good night.
Atlanta Center, primary 108, we're with you, 10,000 or 14,000. Primary 108, 05% to high, climb maintain flight level 250. That's 250 from primary 108. Dragon 1, contact at land, traffic contact Indy 19.55, bye-bye. 1955, Dragon 1. Atlanta Center, American 23 is with you at 10,700, climbing for 16,000. American 23, Atlanta Center, climb maintain flight level 230. What's the flight level 230 for American 23? Good afternoon, Atlanta American 3 is with you passing 27.5 for 240 as arrival. American 3 Atlanta Center, hi there, descent to Aussie at to maintain 1212. Aussie copy, descent and maintain 12,000 American 3 heavy. Atlanta Center, can I get the altimeter for the Charlotte Airport, please? Southwest 5, altimeter 2992. Altimeter 2992, Southwest Airport. November 616, Charlie Mike, contact Atlanta approach 127.9. 127.9, or social Mike. Toronto, sir, hello, Delta 2899, climbing to 16,000 to Bobsy. Climbing 2999, as long as it's on climb, maintain flight level 23. President 23, sir, 2899. X23, resume normal speed, contact Atlanta Center 132.975.
Still just kind of ending up a little bit left of course, so I've just been steadily nudging the heading. We're supposed to be tracking 311. We're right now crabbing 317. Our winds currently 337 at 4. So yeah, we've got a little bit of a right headwind. So that explains why we're getting pushed slightly to the left. About halfway to our next intersection, we were thinking, not thinking, the charts were telling us that we have a 60-mile leg here from, now pardon me, I'm looking ahead here. We have from Holston Mountain to Cheetah, we have a 90-mile leg. My apologies. So we're about a third of the way.
You'll get that from Charlotte Approach in about 50 miles time.
Alright, downwind sim checking in. Yeah, you know, this is a pretty area. I don't get down here very often. And we're low and slow today. We actually had ATC ask us if we wanted higher. And I said, no, we're good to go. I pulled out this chart here. It's hard to beat winds of 4 knots, even though we are getting a little bit of the bumpity bumps. But yeah, hey, no problem. I understand you had things to do. I mean, that's kind of the way Sundays go. So you got to take care of that business, and we'll have plenty of opportunities later on. Downwind Sim and I. Downwind Sim is the unofficial CFI of the Melvin Leroy channel, by the way, if you don't know Downwind. We're trying to figure out a way to get him on, or get me on his voice channel, get him on my voice channel, something like that, so that when I'm in one of those crazy airplanes like the DC-8 that needs 25 people to manage, I can have at least, it's not a shared cockpit, but I can at least have a second voice in there giving me updates on things and telling me, hey, pay attention to this, do that. He does that in the chat, but for me to be bouncing back and forth, it's I don't always get to it on time. Usually I see it after it's like too late, and I'm like, oh yeah, should have done that. That would have been the appropriate heading, or that would have been the appropriate altitude, or you know, whatever. But always good to have you join us, man. I actually get to go up into the mountains a little bit tomorrow. I'm excited. We've got a retreat for the administrative team, and we're going to be heading up that way early tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of work, but we also have some time to get out. I'll try to do a little fishing, a little bit of four-wheeling, and it'll probably represent my one and only trip, unfortunately, into the mountains this summer. So yeah, did I hear a call out for ice cream from the first officer? Yeah, he's over there right now playing with his dad there, watching tractors. He's a big fan of tractors, and I'm trying to remember. I think he maybe has already had. Oh no, he didn't have. He didn't have ice cream, but we had one of those king-size Rice Krispie treats early on in the day. He helped me. He was helping me get my razor ready to go to the mountains, so we had to, we checked the oil and the coolant and air in the tires and got gas and all that. He helped me with that, so he earned himself a gigantic Rice Krispie treat. Keep thinking we're going to get handed off here. We are right on the border into Indy Center. I have a Razor 4 800. Four-seat Razor, and I really like it. Don't get it out near enough. But man, you can see a lot of country in one of those things. For the longest time I was kind of anti four-wheeler because I just didn't like the idea of people tearing around and messing up country, but now that I've sort of become a part of the culture, I guess, and I understand just how much they value the wilderness areas, and they do a lot of work to actually maintain the the country that you get to hunt and fish in. I'm happy that I picked one up, and kind of happy that I've become part of that group, because it's been really fun. And like I say, you get a chance to see miles and miles and miles of area that you wouldn't be able to. You can in an afternoon see as much country as you could if you hiked all summer long. And so you just go up every weekend, and you can just find something else that you never knew even existed. Even though I've lived in Wyoming my whole life, every time I go I find a place I didn't even know existed. Downwind saying he has 1,000 Trails and Rock Edition, rented 1,000s. Oh, I think I just lost center, so I'm going to go to Indy. I think he was just making that call to me real quick, but I get talking four-wheelers and I get a little bit distracted. Darn you, Downwind Sim. 1955.
Little 3316 with layer space to the north. Cleveland Center is offline.
So 1,000 Trails and Rock Edition. I guess I'd have to look and see what that looked like. Terrible suspension. Yeah.
Thank you for the ATC.
Yeah, the Black Hills. I love the Black Hills. I haven't four-wheeled up there, but I lived in Rapid City for a year and have spent plenty of time in that country. But yeah, you come out, I can show you around the Wind River Range. I need to check in here real quick.
259 with you, flight level 340. T-Ball 5259 Indy Center. Number 1412 to Senpai Discretion, cross Jackie at maintain 3000. At Powers Discretion, Jackie maintain 3000, Delta 1412. And Delta 1412, that's Jackie at 13,000. 13,000, Jackie is Delta 1412.
Indy Center, good evening. Delta 6553 at 8,000. We are 50 miles northwest of the Holcomb Mountain View.
Delta 6553, Center, good evening.
Wolfpack, didn't get the notification, man. Wow. Sorry, man. Welcome to the stream, buddy. We're flying, it's actually a little bit of a redemption flight. downwind was here yesterday, and I mistakenly thought that yesterday at this time was the actual Cincinnati-Charlotte Crossfire event, but I had misread my VAT USA map, and it was actually today. So yesterday was much more hurried because I just, like I was talking about earlier, like the stars aligned, and I just happened to have a 2-hour window, and so I just came down, and like I usually do, I popped my VAT-tastic open and looked for ATC, and I noticed that there was ATC in the Cincinnati and Charlotte area, and I don't know, my brain just mistakenly thought, oh, must be the Crossfire event that they were advertising, but I didn't realize until this morning that it's actually today. Yesterday was a Memphis to Denver kind of a FedEx cargo deal, so they did have something going on, but I wasn't able to do it. That was a little bit later on in the day, and I had some other things going on. So anyway, so we're here, and since yesterday we flew a Delta Liveries 737, which was a fictitious route anyway, because there is no Delta service between Cincinnati and Charlotte, and there's no 737 service between Cincinnati and Charlotte. I figured, you know what, let's hop in the Delta Liveries, but let's be a DC-3 today, and let's take her low and slow.
FedEx 7305, cleared to Miami Airport, via Dawn 1 departure, movable transition, minutes files, maintain 5,000, expect flight level 310, 10 minutes after departure.
What was on the dinner menu tonight, Wolfpack? I had a pretty solid dinner myself.
4662 for FedEx 7305.
FedEx 705, small crew back correct, runway 5 right for departure, advisory for taxi.
Oh, that's 5 right, I'm calling taxi FedEx 7305.
Air Canada 45, descend pilots discretion, cross Jackie, at maintain 13,000.
13,000, Jackie, Air Canada 46.
Can't go wrong with little Wendy's. I'm a big fan of Gwendolyn's myself.
Indianapolis Center, American 477.
We had some homemade meatloaf,
35,000.
mashed potatoes tonight. It was pretty solid. Big thumbs up for my crew.
American 477 and descend next class head down.
So yeah, downwind, just let me know next time you're in the neighborhood, man. I'll point you in the right directions. There's more mountain trails in Wyoming than I can shake a stick at.
American 477, your air contact 20 miles southwest of the Champaign VOR, descending through flight level 340. Descend via the Colt 2 arrival, you can expect visual 5 left.
Alright, 5 left. We could,
Picking up a little bit of moisture here. You know, earlier on in the stream, we were a little bit nervous about that. Let me show you
Expect left.
Appreciate it.
kind of what we've been battling. So at the time, instead of departing most of the planes have been departing north and kind of taking this little route here, but this cell has pretty much been consistently north of Charlotte, and we were able to find a little window here west. It doesn't look good right now, but we were able actually to sneak through the weather out to the Nino intersection. Then we went up to Sugarloaf, and we've been flying north. We were able to get through here before this stuff built up, which was awesome. And we got up to Holcomb Mountain here, and we're probably about kind of right in this area right now, so I'm not sure where the weather's coming from, but yeah, active sky is showing some clouds, but not really seeing. Of course, I'm not zoomed in, so there could very well, if I zoomed in a little bit, maybe it would show a little bit more of those precip echoes. But regardless, you know, the most accurate what's the, I can't remember the saying, the most accurate weather forecast is looking out that front window, and we definitely have some precip right now. Now, earlier on, just a couple of minutes ago, here's a good trivia question for both of you guys. Where the heck is the outside air temperature gauge in the DC-3? Because I, for the life of me, have not been able to find it. Now, I do know what the outside air temperature is because I have the 2D pop-up, and I can see that we're still, we're 15 above, so that's still a pretty nice day. So I don't need to worry with this precip. I don't need to turn anti-ice on or anything like that, but yeah, it's driving me nuts. I've been looking around here and I cannot figure out where the doggone outside air temperature gauge is. Oh well, I just haven't had a chance really to look for it either. So, alright, we're pretty much on. Well, actually, we're kind of on our own right now because we've lost the VOR. We are tracking now until we. This is the volunteer VOR, and we're tracking until we pick it up. See if I can show you. May not be able to. Let's pull up the approach. We actually are right now. We are on the Hardu 4 approach, even though it takes us forever to get there. But here's what we're doing. So we were at Holston Mountain. Like I say, we're kind of in this area right now. We have the volunteer VOR tuned in with the 011 radio set. And since we've lost contact with this guy, we're just flying this general direction. We were pretty close. We were on that outbound, so we're not going to be, we may not be right on it, but we'll be pretty close. And when we get to Cheetah, then that outbound at nav 2 will line up, but we have lost even the DME now, so we're truly just flying sort of by the seat of our pants here. The thing that worries me a little bit is the volunteer VOR it's 86 miles away, and the Holston Mountain was 90, so yeah, man. So I don't know. I sure hope. I mean, it looks to me like it's tracking, which is good, and I know some VORs have greater range than others, and that Holston Mountain, I mean, I think that's about when you got here downwind. It's literally up in the mountains, and so if you don't have line of sight with those VORs, you don't get that signal. But if this was the DC-8, there's actually a part of the DC-8 pilot operating handbook. Well, it's on the tutorial where they fly a practice route to kind of teach you how to do things. And I haven't actually flown it, but I've read through it and just to make sure I'm not missing something. But there's actually a part of there where they say, hold your nerve, stay on course, and trust your nerve, or something like that. So I mean, I think that it's not uncommon for, and Slant Alpha can chime in on this. Al South is here too. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday, everyone. So Slant Alpha, we're talking a little bit about, we've got a leg here that's, as Run DMC would say, it's tricky. So we just crossed Holston Mountain here just a little bit ago, and we are about right here. We're inbound the Cheetah intersection, and we've lost the VOR, we've lost the DME. Oh, You can't hear me.
98, you are
Oh, dang it.
25 miles northwest of the Terre Haute VOR, flight level 200. Descending the Colt 2.
Well, when you watch back, if you have the volume on, you can chime in. And Al South and downwind, you guys, let me know what you think about this. But this leg here is 90 DME. This leg here is 86, so it's similar in terms of the length. So I'm worried, we lost this, lost contact with this VOR, but we've somehow managed to keep contact with the volunteer VOR. And I have to see, or I have to think it has everything to do with the fact that it's just flatter terrain there. So, but anyway, like I said, in the DC-8 tutorial, there's a part there where it says just hey, you're going in the right direction, trust your aircraft, trust your instruments, trust the fact that you're going to pick up that next VOR, even though you're going to be without radio navigation for a short time. So I'm thinking that there were periods of time in all these guys when they're flying radio navigation where they didn't actually have contact with VORs. And I don't see any DMEs, or, excuse me, I don't see any NDBs out there that I can tune either. So we're going to go ahead and just continue on. Like I said, our wind is very minimal right now. I mean, it's just 6 knots and it's 340. So it's, if anything, it's pushing us just a little bit west. It's pushing us to our left. So what that would mean, oh hey, there we go, this guy's coming alive, and as soon as that guy gets lined up, we will be on the outbound 011 radio, which is exactly what we want. At that point in time, we are going to turn north and follow that 011 radial for it's like another 19 miles, so it'll be a grand total of 105. And I'll just pull that over again. So when we get there, we're going to turn 011 19 miles, so it'll be a grand total of 105 DME from volunteer, and at that point we will tune in Falmouth and head back to the northwest. So yeah, everything is looking pretty good, I think, so far, instrument wise. And Slant Alpha saying the stream is fine. Okay, good. I was hoping that Slant Alpha had himself a little bit of a different kind of adventure on Friday night. I don't know if you heard, but he is now the #1 fan of the Bill Gates fan club. So I figured that maybe the Windows update, made the volume so clear that your ear just wasn't used to that type of like 4K HD sound, and that's what you're talking about. I'm being semi-sarcastic. Well, no, I'm being really sarcastic, to be honest with you. But so, nothing to do but wait now. Still seeing some really, really neat country here, I tell you what. I keep hoping a little bit that we'll fly over one of those small airports that we flew in and out of the other day, but I think we're actually a little bit too far to the west now. Those were a little bit further out Virginia way. Okay, can't get outside too much because I gotta be ready to go here.
American 1300, contact Center 133.65, good night.
Expecting, by the way, this, about 86 is what we should be in terms of being from the volunteer VOR. So, honestly, we probably could make that turn here at any time and be fairly close. we'll be a little bit patient.
1305, climbing level 310.
I won't get too crazy though with it. I think if we're within 4 or 5 miles of that DME at the intersection, I think I'll live with that. I really will. Okay, I got to make sure that this is ready to go.
Yeah, 1305, climbing maintain 50310.
And man, I tell you what, that's pretty doggone close. Let's go ahead, we'll spin it around, start our heading to 011. I agree with you, Slant. That this Delta livery, it's beautiful. So the reason why we're in this Delta is we flew Delta yesterday, and to make a long story short, we mistakenly thought yesterday was a VATSIM event, was this Crossfire event. Yep, need to get, Slant's saying needs to get his hands on the Pan Am or Eastern. Yeah, no doubt. I would be curious, Slant Alpha, to hear your take on, and maybe I shouldn't bring this up because maybe this is only a P3D thing, but Airplane Heaven is busily working on a DC-3 of their own, and it looks pretty phenomenal. And I know it's at least being created for P3D, but I don't know. I can't confirm if it's an X-Plane build also. I don't know if you had seen that, or any of you guys had seen that, but I am very excited about what I'm seeing from those guys. I'm going to pull this up here and see if I can. I probably won't be able to.
Number 45 X-ray Sierra.
Completely understand, Rob. Completely understand. Alright, I'm trying to find.
Which frequency? Squawk 6622.
Yeah, I can't find it right now. So Airplane Heaven does have currently, it has a Douglas DC-3 that's for sale, but they're working on a different version of it, a more updated, like it's built for P3D, built for 64-bit. I'm hoping it's being also developed for X-Plane 11, because the teaser pictures are just, they look unbelievable. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I've been seeing a few things here on Digital Flightwire. I don't know if you follow them on social media, but they're the ones that keep, I mean, every time Airplane Heaven has any kind of update, you know, they share that. So, but I may not be able to find it here. I do need to pay attention. I tend to get myself in trouble due to my adult onset, well, not adult onset because I've had it my whole life, a little attention deficit issue, and I get kind of like a dog chasing a squirrel sometimes, and I forget about the fact that you're flying an aircraft and you need to make sure that you're taking care of that. So let's see.
3000, sir, 477.
Back to Sky Vector, and again we at 105. Okay, we're getting close. We're going to be tuning in.
681, leave layer space to the east. Washington
I can go ahead and tune in Falmouth. It's 117.0.
Frequency change approved for FedEx 681.
And okay, that's coming alive. That's awesome. And we will be tracking out on a 3-4 outbound heading. So
Dragon 1, I do have your radar contact on 0 miles southeast of the
Well,
VOR at 16,000.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm very happy with the fact that we've managed to kind of sidestep the bulk of this weather. And as I'm looking at things here, guys, I think we might be okay heading on in. Let me just show you what Sky Vector is looking like. Sky Vector doesn't match up exactly with Active Sky, but I mean, we're right here. No, I'm sorry, we're on this leg right now. When we took off, there was some storm activity kind of right in this area, and I think maybe that's the remnants of it. But I think we're going to be okay. I wouldn't want to be going down to Charlotte right now, but I think we're going to be okay coming into where we're going here. So cool. Alright, maintaining that outbound radio very well. We're looking for 109.
I'm still not showing anything for you.
Alrighty.
I take that back. We're looking for 105. I just double checked that. And then we make our turn 334.
Baron 5 X-ray Sierra, proceed direct to Meats.
We might need to be starting to think about some other frequencies here. Looks like we've got Cincinnati. We have approach and departure. 19.7 is approach.
American 477, turn left, heading 080, vectors for the approach.
And we've got a while yet, but not a bad idea to check in on the weather. Ooh, how about this, guys? Dead calm. Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport. Surface wind 0 KTS.
American 23, contact Cincinnati approach 119.7, good night.
119.7, American 23, good night.
Yep, looks like partly cloudy coming in. Got some clouds at 7,000, got some clouds at 20,000. 10 miles of visibility though, so visual approach type of day, I would gather. Okay, here comes 105. I think at that point in time we're actually just going to engage the nav lock and let it fly its course. Alright, there's 105. We're going to start heading towards Falmouth.
American 477, you are 5 miles from the stadium. Remain enter above 3,000 until established in the local hazard. Cleared ILS for my 5 left approach.
Hello, First Officer. Why do you have that stuck on your finger? That's kind of a normal question that I ask my 2-year-old flight officer, first officer. Oh, come here, big boy. Look at what we're in. Yeah. Tell Papa what kind of airplane this is.
It's color.
What color is it? Yeah, it is an airplane. Can you say Goonie Bird? Yeah, it's the Goonie Bird. It's the DC-3.
Baron 5 X-ray Sierra, Cincinnati approach 119.7, good night. 1931,
No, that can't start just pushing buttons, okay, buddy? This is not our training flights that we
American
do.
398, turn left heading 080, vectors for the approach.
All right, go find your dad.
We're Jet 3 Echo Charlie.
Tell him he needs to check the pantalones.
1970 Coast.
Gotta love it. Okay, so
American 477, wind 40.10, runway 5, left clear to land.
so I'm actually not sure. I'm kind of looking at Fantastic, and it looks like they're kind of in South Ops right now. So there we are. I would not be surprised to have a little vector here east of the airfield, and then on our way down. I need to take a look. Yeah, it looks like we're going to kind of get up to maybe Falmouth, and maybe at Falmouth we'll kind of get that, and maybe even before that, maybe get that vector north. But let's take a look at the airport diagram, because I don't know where the cargo area is. We are pretending to be a cargo airport today. Downwind Sim, you seem to know this area a little bit better than most. Is this the cargo area down here, the DHL?
American 398 feet, 11 o'clock, 13 miles, report in sight.
If so, it would be nice to get a 18 left.
Clear visual approach, runway 5 right.
I don't know. Interesting. We'll find out, I guess. We'll adapt, improvise, and overcome.
American 398, wind 340 at 10, runway 5 right, clear to land. American 477, welcome to Midfield and Northeast Terminal.
We have the updated scenery. We're going Bravo 10.
Still trying to find that link to the new Aeroplane Heaven DC-3. It's in development. It was actually supposed to be done end of July, according to their kind of beginning of the summer press release, but we all know how that goes.
Dragon 1, descend to maintain 13,000.
2000 Dragon 1.
But yeah, for the life of me, man, I cannot find that. Cannot find that thing. Maybe this is it.
This jet 282's in the extract clearance available if I was ready to copy.
Yeah, this is some of it, but this is not the It's not the pictures that I was seeing. They showed some pictures of the gear and engine. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Alright, check this out. I got a little bit of time, I can show you this. So, digital flight wire is showing some of the shots of the engine. And, man, oh man, detail on that looks phenomenal. Now, how will it look in the sim? I mean, yeah, I get that. Hard to tell. But, wow, wowzy, wowzers. I think this is the, a few other shots. See if I can find.
Roll by. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's just, it looks pretty cool. And as much as I like this plane, and I really do like it, if I was able to acquire a version of it that had more of the systems modeled, I think that would be unbelievable. But anyway, that's I mean, check that out if you have some time. And I don't, oh, the one thing I didn't look for is I know that there is a it's a P3D project, but I don't know if it's also an X-Plane project. Very few of those seem like they occur at the same time, although many of the developers eventually put their products on both sides.
American 398, welcome to Indy. I assume you're parking with company?
If he doesn't answer that downwind, I can, because I asked him the same question when we first met. That's actually how we met.
American 398, taxi 2 Romeo Echo.
I was flying in, I don't even remember where, and he was taxiing out, and you don't see DC-3s very often, and so I was like, hey, another guy that enjoys DC-3s. And his DC-3/C47 is actually the same one that I have. It's produced by the Aeroworks developers, but I believe one of the two original developers, if I'm not mistaken, and Rob, you can correct me, but I think Jan Visser, which is one of the two developers, is now also working or has been working with the Aeroworks folks, and they basically were able to bring this aircraft over to X-Plane as well, and it is freeware, so downwind it's worth picking up. And I would mention, he and I, Slant Alpha and I, have talked quite a bit about this. I think he has more systems in the X-Plane version that work than I do in the P3D version. Al South, no worries, man. If you're working, you got to work, man. You can pop in. You're just about to the right time. We're 127 miles from Falmouth, and then from Falmouth we're going to be probably getting a little bit of more detailed clearance information here. So don't worry. Glad you're here. Sorry that you're having to work on a Sunday. That's the only thing that's bad, but it's cool that you're hanging out with us. But anyway, downwind, I know he and I, we were able to, might have been Hawaii. I was chasing him in this version of the DC-3, and we were talking back and forth on either on his stream or on the Discord channel. And I was saying, you know, there's a lot of stuff it looks like that he's able to do. Like, for example, he can fly his autopilot. He can fly all of this stuff without having to pop up the 2D panel. Now, he also went on to say, though, there's some things in the X-Plane version that is not simulated that is simulated in the P3D version. But I think overall, I think the X-Plane version of this plane is just a little bit better. And you know, it doesn't surprise me, you know, if it's a little bit later version. It's a little bit more updated, I think, and they both have a very, very necessary, needed sound pack that you have to also make sure that you get. Now, the latest version of this, the Jan Visser, has the sound pack included, but you need it, you really do. And then I'm sure Slant can tell you about the sound pack that comes with the AeroWorks one, or where to get it. Probably by this point in time, it's, again, if you just download the latest, the latest version, you're going to get that. But very, very worth it, I would say. A ton of fun. Cool, he's found it. Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, easy on the frames, not super hard to learn how to fly. You know, the startup procedure, if I screwed the startup procedure up at the beginning of the stream, but it was just a bonehead thing on my part. I forgot to turn the fuel on, and so I mean, it does, you have to pay attention. You can't just, well, you can, I think you can control E and just get things going, but it has a lot of stuff that you do have to learn how to manage. And some of the ones, and this one does to an extent, but I think some of the other ones, like there's one that's available right now from Airplane Heaven that you could purchase. That's, I think it's probably very comparable, if not a little nicer than this, and it simulates a little bit more of the crankiness, I guess, for lack of a better word, of the engines. For example, if you are taxiing out and have a long wait, it's not uncommon for the DC-3 pilots to shut one or both engines down, because if you don't have airflow through them, they have a tendency to overheat. And so I just think that's something that it's really not, if you redline and over RPM or over manifold pressure, they will fail. But as far as the little nuances like that, that's really not modeled in this particular aircraft. Then again, a lot of this stuff here, which is an integral part of the autopilot, is not operable. The autopilot itself, that button down there, you can turn it on and off and all that good stuff, but sounds like my motor. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's exactly from what I understand, just in reading the forums and listening to the YouTube channels of those old pilots that flew the C-47 and the DC-3, is you got to keep them moving. And they have kind of they also have a little bit of a sweet spot in terms of you can't get going too fast either. You have to let the oil get all the way through the engine, and that's part of why you have to let the blade spin 15 times before you hit the ignition and all that good stuff. But yeah, enjoy it, Downwind. I really think you will. It's quickly become one of my favorite airplanes of all time, and it will be the first duplicate airplane that I buy, because as soon as the Airplane Heaven version comes out, I'm gonna check it out. I don't know if I'll like it better than this, but I'm excited about that. Yeah, and another thing to learn. Hey, and that's a good thing, right? I mean, winters get cold. You need something to do, and it's
United 2267.
The colors are over there somewhere, buddy. I don't know what your dad did with them. In addition to a junior first officer, I have a 2-year-old budding art student. I don't know where they are, buddy.
Turn right direct dawn and resume the dawn one departure.
Yeah, it's red. But remember, when you pull that one, it turns the engines off. So up until about last week, the two type ratings that the junior first officer had achieved was barrel rolling and nose diving. And he has recently added, buddy, I don't think they're in here. I'm not sure. Oh, careful. Watch the fingers. I don't think they're in here, dude. But he's recently added the mixture idle cutoff. He knows how to stop the engines. Yeah, see, they're not in there, dude. They're not in there. Alright, take that pen. Go color on some paper. I don't know what your dad did with the colors, dude. He'll be back. He'll be back. So, you know, he's earning his proficiencies here. Color on some paper or couch. Yeah, he's good at extending the canvas, as it were, which would make my dad proud, because my dad was an art teacher, and so my dad never really liked, you know, the whole color in between the lines approach. But yeah, we've got him like a 100-pack of markers. You got it? Here, let me show you. Click, and that gets the pen to come out. There's your paper. Go get your paper. But anyway, so, and Mr. Ken Pryor checking in. Hello, sir. Good evening. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Delta Flight 6553, non-stop service from Charlotte to Cincinnati. We are on the approach, actually. We're flying the, what is it, the Hardu 4 approach right now. And we are 148. Oh, we're counting up. Why are we counting up? Oh, because I have it on the end too there. Sorry, I was like that. Non-stop, and we'll be arriving tomorrow. Listen, we bring you the full experience here, and we're 8,000 feet, we're 131 knots, and we're about 17 miles from, now you guys got me off task here. Where the heck are we? What are we doing? Who are we? Where, what are we doing? Harder 4. Let me get that approach pulled up again here. We are 17 miles from Falmouth. At Falmouth, we're expecting a handoff, or at least a little bit more of a descent. Hoping we get a vector here, because it looks like traffic to this point has been coming around on the east side and landing south. But that's, if not, we will continue to Zetla, and then Zetla will head on in, and at some point, if we get close enough to Cincinnati, they're going to have to talk to us, right? I mean, come on. I know we're low, I know we're slow, but you know, they can't miss us.
Delta 6553, contact Cincinnati, approach 119.7, good day.
1970, Delta 6553, thanks. Aha, ask and ye shall receive. 19, no, don't, that's the nav frequency. Don't change that. 1970, that's what we want. Alright, let me just take one last peek at the ATIS. We do have information, echo. the beauty part of this is you've got plenty of time to check everything here. It's not like the DC-8 where you're screaming in there. Information echo. It does look like visual and localizer approaches are in use. We're landing 18 left and 18 center. I think we would take 18 left if we could. So, all right, I'm ready. We're checking in here. And Cincinnati approach. Good evening, Delta 6553 at 8,000. We have information echo, and we're on the Hardu 4.
Delta 6553 to approach, Q4 Echo, you can expect 18 left.
We'll expect 18 left, 6553. And downwind asks the magic question, are we there yet? The answer is, we'll get there when we get there. Right? Actually, yes, the answer is always yes, we're there. I mean, here we are. In beautiful Ohio. The rolling hills. The heartland. I've been here once actually. I was lucky enough to go to the what's happened? Oh, I think I maybe what's happening? What's happening? Did I fly past? What's happening? Oh, I think when I accidentally took my nav out of frequency, it turned off my nav lock there, so I started to drift just slightly. Anyway, I was able to actually visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, and that was pretty cool. Got to see Kent State University. That was also pretty cool. And man, oh man, where are we going? I don't know. We're supposed to be like 330. Oh, we had to make a pretty drastic left-hand turn to kind of get back on that radial. So sorry about that. There, see, there's a little bit of excitement. It's been 2 hours and 47 minutes of just routine, and I did a little bit of barnstorming there, a little bit of aerobatic work. All right. So anyway, I do need to. So we're gonna go. It'll be 314. That'll be our outbound radial if we don't get told differently, and that's a 26. It's a 26 DME leg to Zetla. This is what I'm looking at here. So we're gonna be at Falmouth here in just a minute. So we'll head out 314 for 26 miles, and at that point in time, we're gonna track inbound Cincinnati CVG 117.3, and that's a 204 radial there outbound from Cincinnati. So if I wasn't worried about muting on my stream, I thought about pulling up the WKRP theme song or some of those clips along the way, but I'm always a little bit worried about that. You know, you have a stream that's a couple, 3 hours long, and you accidentally throw some copywritten content on there, and it can wreck everything. So I don't know if you guys remember the episode As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. That still ranks up there as one of the all-time funniest scenes in my book. But man, I missed that show. That was a great show. Okay. Nothing yet from approach. We do have tower online as well as ground, so we'll be ready to go there as we make our approach. We're just going to assume that that area down there, the area at the end of 18 left, we're going to call that the cargo area. Yeah, Ken, you're on board. You know what's up. It was a great show. Ahead of its time. Alright, we've lost the over the top of the DME, so we'll turn 314 and we will start counting this out to 26. I'm going to go ahead and put 17.3 in nav 2. And again, that's a 204 radial outbound from Cincinnati.
Giant 397 heavy in corrections, Cincinnati approach. Good evening, the altimeter 299.8, expect 18 left.
So that'll be ready to go also.
299.8, 1 left, Giant 390.
Giant 397 heavy, roger, D's maintain 7,000.
7,000, Giant 390.
Delta 6553, flighting 360, vectors for the visual 18 left approach.
360, Delta 6553. Alright, so there's our vector. Awesome. So we're getting vectored to final. We might as well go ahead and take a look at 18 left. Go ahead and tune in everything just in case. Always good to practice that. I don't know if anybody else does this every time like I do, but I like to practice it because sure enough, when you need it, you got to be able to, it just has to be automatic. So the localizer frequency here, yeah, the turkey drop, exactly. Oh yes. Yes, I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna risk getting muted, but I'm gonna pull that up. We can plan. We got time. We've got time. Oh, the humanity. I don't know how well you guys can hear that. I hope you can over the sound of the engines, but oh my gosh.
Giant 397 heavy, fly heading 090, vectors for the visual 18 left approach. D's maintain 5,000.
090, I'll be heading into 5,000, Giant 397.
Hang on for a second. This is too good to. I'm gonna mute the engine noise for a second.
No, I don't suppose there has. I thought it would work. I planned this thing right down to the last detail. It was perfect. Where'd you get those birds? Are you okay? I don't know. A man and his 2 children tried to kill me. After the turkeys hit the pavement, the crowd kind of scattered, but some of them tried to attack me. I jammed myself into a phone booth. Then Mr. Carlson had the helicopter land in the middle of the parking lot. I guess he thought he could save the day by turning the rest of the turkeys loose.
Giant 1397, descend maintain 3000. 3000 for Giant 397 heavy.
I got to make sure I'm still flying here, guys.
6553, descend and maintain 5000.
Down to 5,000, 6553.
Turkeys mounted the counterattack. It was almost as if they were organized.
Sorry, guys. I got to do this.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
I'm going to leave that up for later on. Oh, boy. Okay. That was so good. Thank you for finding that downwind. That made the flight. I'm telling you, it's been a good flight up until that moment. That just made it a great flight. But just understand, if you watch this back later on, probably the last half of this flight is going to be muted out. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Les Nesman, winner of the Silver Sow Award and the Buckeye New Shock Award. Oh, simpler times, my friends. Okay. I was about to put in localizer frequencies here. 110. You'll just have to take my word for it. I'm not going to pull this over here. 110.15. That's the 18 left localizer frequency, and the heading is 184. Oh my gosh, my sides hurt. That was such good stuff. That was amazing. Okay, that's not our airport, I don't think, is it? No. That's not it. I don't know what that is. But we're only 11 miles away, so I need to probably descend faster than 500 feet as well. Okay, I need to start to think speed management here also. We're going to we'll pull the throttle back a little bit. Okay, and yes, checklists.
Giant 397 heavy, turn right heading 150, intercept the 18 left localizer, report the field in sight.
Okay, we're going to put the mixture back up to auto rich. We're going to put the props to high RPM here just a bit. We don't need it right this second. Go ahead and put the cowl flaps to trail. We should have, the fuel pumps actually should be on the fullest tank, so left aux and right aux.
Giant 397 heavy, Roger.
Okay, and the fuel pumps, the boost pumps will come on. Landing lights can come on. We will add flaps as we need it. We don't need it just yet. And gear is the same way. Tail wheel is locked. We'll leave that locked. Oh boy, yeah, that was good stuff. That was really good stuff. Okay, I think that's our international airport over there. Get her down to 5,000. Got 500 to go. We're on a basically 10 DME away. Once we level out, that glide slope and localizer are active. That's a good sign. once we level out, the speed will need to be checked. One thing I miss with today's liveries, and I know there's probably a reason why, but I miss all the just polished silver. And I'm sure it has something to do with, you know, anti-corrosion and all that good stuff, but yeah, I kind of miss that. And we're down below flap speed, so we don't have to get too slow just yet. I mean, I don't want you guys to feel like I'm rushing this thing or anything here. Yeah, Ken, this is one of my favorite liveries. I have my all-time favorite is the Western Airlines livery, just because that's got some ties to some childhood memories. But in terms of like just the looks of, you know, this is awesome. Pretty darn awesome. And that's the cool thing about this plane also. So downwind, you know, he's looking at maybe he already has downloaded the one for X-Plane, but can have polished silver on composite material. Oh really? I didn't. I knew there had to be a reason. I mean, but man, I missed that look. That's such an awesome look. Maybe just because it's a vintage look and we'll never see it again, I guess. I don't know, but one of the things that you're really going to like about this plane downwind is the fact that there is like an underground community that is out of this world. And not only is the plane free, but there are more flippin' liveries out there than you can shake a stick at. And I mean, yeah, you can.
Delta 6553, descent obtain 3000, turn left heading 270.
Down to 3000 and left turn 270, Delta 6553. If it ever flew, then there's a livery for it. And someone has made it and made it in high quality. So that's the cool thing, you know. Like when I first started this channel, one of the things I did was I did a D-Day tribute flight, and I flew from Oxford, Connecticut. I flew across the North Atlantic on the Blue Spruce route and did a simulated D-Day run on
Giant 6553, the field will be your 10 o'clock in 10 miles.
It was on the 6th, 5th or 6th, I don't remember, but anyway, you know, and so I was trying to figure out which livery to use. And I mean, there's a group of guys that are working to make sure all the important World War II liveries are out there. So there's That's All Brother, and I mean, there's every single significant livery is there, and then there's a bunch of liveries that.
6553, the field, 10 o'clock in 10 miles, reported in sight.
Okay, we're looking, Delta 6553. We did have it there a minute ago. I think I see it right over there. And 6553, we have the field.
Delta 6553, you're cleared for the visual approach. Runway 18 left, contact the tower on 118.3 and gobble.
Over to tower. Thanks for the ATC. We'll catch you next time. I got no comeback, man. I love it. Those ATC, man, they never fail to amaze me. All right, now I can't even remember the frequency. 1830. Jeez Louise. I love those guys. 1830. I was trying to come up with some good As God is my witness, that's what I should have said. As God is my witness, I'm going over to tower. Something like that. Alright, now, okay, here we go. And Cincinnati Tower, good evening. Delta 6553. We're inbound on the visual approach, 18 left.
Delta 65 at 53, Cincinnati Tower. Wind calm, runway 18 left, clear to land.
18 left, clear to land. Delta 6553. Alright, so we have, I've tried anyway, taken the autopilot off, and we're just going to fly this baby in. I see 18 left. Looks like we're pretty close to being where we could make that turn for home. We're below the glide slope, so we'll stay level at 3,000. We won't hurry the turn because we do want to let this localizer come in, and I don't really see it moving a heck of a lot. So, oh, there it comes. Alright, so now it's coming. We could go ahead and, we didn't turn. We should have been a little more aggressive in our turn, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, Downwind Sim, he's looking for potential turkey strikes in this area of the country. I would think that that's probably, you know, something that's real. And we shouldn't be joking about it. There we go, 18 left. We will come back around, we'll pick up the localizer. Once we get the localizer, we'll start adding some flaps, get ourselves on a stable approach. Below the or above the glide slope now, so we can go ahead. Let's add a notch of flaps. Start bringing that speed down just a little bit. We're gonna go prop lever full forward. That might be the best ATC call I've heard in a long time. Somebody's gonna tune into this accidentally and think it's not even Thanksgiving. What the heck is he talking about? All right, a little bit right of the glide or of the localizer, maybe just a smidge high on the glide slope. A little bit quick here still. Second notch of flaps coming in. There's our gear horn. Gears coming down. Nine or 8. I never did adjust my altimeter. There we go. That'll help a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I know, Ken. I've hunted turkeys before, and yes, they do. So that's, but it still makes it. It's still a funny scene. Third notch of flaps, flaps 3/4, I think, is what they call that. We're still just a touch high. This is a pretty approach here. I want to be reffing it out here at about 100, I think. Alright, flaps full. Things are looking pretty good. Always nice when the winds are calm. There we go. Not too bad. Maybe a little mini bump there. Oh, found a bump in the runway. But I think we can live with that.
And Delta 6553, welcome back to the land WKP. Exit right when able. Contact ground 121.70. Good day.
As God is my witness, I will contact ground. Delta 6553. Glad I got to use that line at least once.
Riders, have a great time.
Okay, so we're gonna, again, there's a DHL area down here, and 121.7 is our frequency. I need to unlock my tail wheel here. Sorry guys, you're chatting up a storm, I know. Unable. There we go, unlock the tail wheel so I can actually steer a little bit here. Is the compass on bungee cords? Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, supposedly that helps the wet compass to be more accurate. I'm making that up, Downwind Sim. It is on some sort of a suspended bungee cord system, but I have no idea why. Alright, we are off on, what do we... Look away for a second, Downwind, because I'm going to use the binoculars. This is Tango 5. Okay. And ground, good afternoon. Delta 6553. We're clear of 18 left on Tango 5. We're taxiing to cargo.
Delta 6553, 59 ground. Roger. Tango 5, cross Tango, Sierra 5, make a left on Sierra into the ramp.
Tango 5, Sierra 5, left on Sierra to the ramp. Delta 6553. Okay, that's pretty much what we were thinking.
Delta 6553, Heavy, you have a good night.
Hey, I appreciate the ATC, and it was a lot of fun. Thanks again.
Well, absolutely.
And I'm on the grass again, probably, but okay, so there's no buildings down here, apparently. Just a big area. It's probably a warehouse in real life or something. It shows something on the map, but we're just going to pick an area 2 inches right of the center line. Downwind Sim says, yeah, I know. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes the landing that you have to make when the winds are calm, I sometimes screw that up way more than the crosswind landing. I don't know if I just overthink it or what, but I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna, looks like there's a spot where some planes have parked in the past, so we're gonna taxi over here and shut it down and call it good. I tell you what, it's been fun. It was low and slow, but that's kind of how we like it in this plane. And on a Sunday, you know, is that Lionel Richie? Take it easy. It's not Sunday morning, but it's not bad to take it easy on Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down, but while I'm doing that, let me just tell you what's coming up here. We do have the return of Small Airport Wednesday coming up this Wednesday. It's I should take a look. You know what I don't do very often? Let me do this real quick. Is it worth a replay? This is how often I do this. I don't even know how to get to replay. Let's say it is going back 4 minutes. Enough? Nope. Go back. It's a clunky, there we go. It's kind of a clunky replay system, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's just take a quick look at the beautiful, the lovely, the magnificent DC-8. No, DC-3. Wrong Douglas. Airport. So while we're inbound, since we have a second, again, I had screwed things up yesterday, so when I announced that I'd be flying NorCal, that's actually not till next Friday. So the next scheduled event will be on Wednesday. I've got some small airports that I think you're gonna like, and we'll be in some GA aircraft farting around somewhere. So I'd love to have you along. And then next Friday is the Hot August Nights. That's the NorCal event that I was mistakenly thought was going to happen tonight, and we'll be there. I don't know where, but we'll be there somewhere. And the one I'm really looking forward to, it's the Boston Tea Party. That's coming up next Saturday, and we will be participating in the poker run. And I plan on streaming that. It might be kind of a long stream, but I'm gonna try to stream the adventures of the poker run. And anyway, those are 3 things coming up here soon, next week. Oh no, my apologies. I thought I disconnected. Dang it. The tower had to send me a reminder, said I was still on. See, that's how often I do the replay. Alright, let's take a look, see how we did. Flare wasn't bad, just a bit long. Dang it. A little bit of a bump, and then there was like some kind of a bump in the runway or something, but yeah, that wasn't too bad really. Let the tail down kind of nice and easy. Yeah, we'll take that. But anyway, yeah, that's what we have. That's the plan for this coming week, and so hopefully you'll be able to join me for some of that. If not, I understand. Ooh, I can't. For some reason, it's not letting me turn this stuff off. So I think we're going to call it good right there. But guys, thanks for checking in. Let's see, everybody that stopped by Downwind, of course, much appreciated. We are going to figure out a time to do that voice channel. I think you'd add a lot to what I've got going on here, and it would be a ton of fun to have you virtually in that right hand seat with me. Wolfpack Gamer, as always, appreciate it. Have yourself a good rest of your Sunday, and enjoy. If you got a little bit of summer break left, enjoy, buddy. Al South, thanks for checking in, man. Don't work too hard today. It's Sunday, dude. Make sure that you get home with your family a little bit here and relax some. Rob from Slant Alpha, yeah, I'm not flying this thing if it's not for the stuff that you've taught me, so appreciate that. I hope he's at a conference that doesn't include the words flight sim. So sorry about that, but appreciate you peeking in and checking on us. So let's see, Ken Pryor stopped in there. Yeah, I think I agree with you. The WKRP scene is easily one of the funniest, if not the funniest scene that I've ever watched. So it was a lot of fun watching that, and fingers crossed that we won't get muted because of copyright violations. ATC, you guys that checked in, thanks, man. Again, as always, thanks for everything that you do, everything you guys bring to this sim. It's just not the same without you guys, so I appreciate all your hard work, all your dedication, your professionalism, your patience with guys like me that make mistakes as we're flying. But I tell you what, I appreciate every one of you. So we'll call it good with that, and looking forward to many more flights with you guys. And until next time, we'll be looking for you on the TCAS. Take care, and God bless.